Yo, what is going on today, YouTube? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Today's video, we are talking about the 3 new characters. They're not out yet, and I don't know why it doubles this, but Aphrodite, Medusa, and Pele, they are not out yet. They are coming 12/10, but I just wanted to talk about what I want to see with these characters. There are 3 characters where, at least Aphrodite, very volatile. Some people love her, some people hate her. I think Medusa had a really weird SMITE lifetime of being very OP when she dropped, useless for like 8 years, and then she was very strong towards the end. And Pele's probably one of the cooler characters in all of SMITE 1. I don't think she was ever bad, and I think when she came out, a lot of people loved her. So I think there's a lot of potential with this drop. And to start with Aphrodite, because I do think she is the most important character to make well, is they have to stay true to like the SMITE 1 Aphrodite that we know. She has to be a very good peel-oriented character, and she has to be a very good 2v2 character. But I hope they take her away from being a tank support and more into being a utility support. I think it would be very cool if instead of she gives like protections to her allies, she's giving either intelligence or strength to her allies, or whether it's based off of her intelligence or her protections, it could be the more of that stat that she builds, the more she makes her teammate hard carry. I think it would also be really cool if they allowed Aphrodite to play solo lanes a little bit more efficiently and not be reliant on teammates. My idea is to make it where if she's not kissed with somebody, she becomes jealous, because that's what her entire persona is, or her entire character design is built around, is jealousy and like her kiss mechanic. Well, what if she's not kissed with somebody, she's jealous of not having somebody, and she gets extra damage on her 1, her 2, her 3, allowing her to play solo lane, allowing her to clear a little bit better. Or maybe the jealousy doesn't, it's not like actual extra damage, it's her 3 does more damage when she's not connected to an ally, but it's only against minions if you're worried about how much damage she'll do. You'll still lose out on the movement speed, so it's still probably going to be more efficient to be kissed with an ally, but I think that is an interesting way to go about it. The last part is, I know a lot of people have an issue with her ultimate being CC immunity and damage immunity. I'm actually perfectly fine with that. I think my idea would be more based around the cooldown aspect and idea of it and how long it lasts, because it goes down a lot. I don't know what it is currently in SMITE 1, but it used to go 90 down to 70 when I came up with or was thinking about this. I think it would probably be better just to keep it at 90, and then the duration doesn't last as long. 2 seconds in SMITE 2 is a long time, considering no CC lasts that long, I think, at all. Unless there's one I'm just completely missing. Maybe Baron Pull. I guess Baron Pull does last, but I mean, Baron is already an issue in and of itself, so we won't talk about that. But with Aphrodite, I think maybe something where it's like 0.8 up to 1, 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, or something where it's just shorter than 2 seconds. If you can get it up to like 1.5, there's a way to make it look good. Maybe 0.7, 0.9, 1.1, 1.3, 1.5. I think that's maybe a better spot to go with it, because I think keeping the damage and CC immunity is fine. Or, I mean, you could also choose and then maybe kick up the duration a tiny bit, but allowing it to be a once a fight thing where you have to kind of bait it out, play around that, I think would be fine. I'm very curious what they end up doing with Aphrodite, but they have to stay true to her idea in SMITE 1. Her +1s have just got to be interesting, because she's already one of the most loved SMITE 1 characters. Also very hated, but that's beside the point. I think adding the ability to play solo lanes with her kit, without her with somebody, I think would be very cool. I think giving her a more fun way to play against her, instead of giving protections to allies, you give strength or intelligence or something else, I think would be a lot better. I'm fine with her 2. I'm fine with her 3. They could even maybe lower her 3's healing a tiny bit and then kick up the cooldown that you get back instead of like 0.1 or 0.2, whatever it is. Maybe make it 0.3 and then lower the healing from 300 or whatever it is to 220. I think that'd be a cool way to go about it. And then I've already talked about the ultimate. I think this would be a much cooler way to play against Aphrodite, and also make her more fun to play, because it's less of a, I'm keeping my ally alive via protections, and I'm keeping my ally alive with good uses of my abilities, and not just being a protections bot for him. And Medusa. Medusa's an interesting one, because you can't really change her passive. You can't really change her 1 too much. You can't really change her 2 too much. So you have to either hit the 3 and the ult, or rework an ability completely. I don't know entirely what I would do with Medusa. I'd probably just make it so something with the statues a little bit more exciting, because really in Smite 1, they're an afterthought, and I think they should be or could be an important part of the kit. If Medusa ever, you know, kills somebody with her ultimate, or anybody that's affected by the slow of her ultimate, they become a statue. Maybe she gets extra tick damage on her 1 from that. Maybe she gets her 2 goes up in damage. Maybe it's just a stacking strength buff. Maybe it's a stacking cooldown buff, something like that. I think the idea of if characters are winning, they get stronger via items and kit strength, I think is really cool. So I always love the idea of stacking perma buffs throughout the game. My favorite thing so far is like Khepri passive being a relevant thing, or sorry, Khepri ultimate giving him protections being a relevant thing. I think that is awesome, and I want to see more of that, because I think that's cool. And that's probably what I would do with Medusa, something like that. Maybe making her 3, like if she won somebody and they're affected by poison, if you also dash them after, the poison duration is extended, something like that. There's a lot of ways they can go with Medusa. I'm not like a massive Medusa player, so I don't have too big of an opinion, but I would 100% play her if there was a stacking mechanic in her kit, because she's fun to play in her 1v1s, but you kind of get bored of her after like a game or two. But trying to get this number up a bunch would make me want to play her a lot more. And Pele, probably the hardest one to change, because I think her Smite 1 kit is phenomenal. The first thing that came to mind is her passive, making it so it's something you could proc. I don't really know entirely how they would do it, but you could have it where when you, I don't know, when your gas drops below the 30% threshold or something like that, you get your lifesteal proc, so you can kind of play around the threshold of your gas or whatever. I think she's already like a really cool character. Like her 1 doesn't really need any changes. Her 2's already really cool. It has the growing distance the more you put points into it. It probably has to be something with her 3 or her ult, I guess. Maybe when you use up all your auto attacks on your ult or something, you gain the lifesteal buff. But I feel like a lot of the times you're getting your lifesteal buff no matter what when you're ulting. I think allowing it with your 3 and then maybe making it 2 procs instead of a cooldown, or 2 procs and then, I don't know. She's already a really cool character. There's really not much that they can do to mess her up unless they just outright change an ability. I guess this video ends up just being me talking about Aphrodite more than anything, because I do think she is very important to the game. Medusa and Pele, I think, are just cool characters. Well, Pele, I think, is really cool. Medusa is just a fine character. I hope that we see interesting +1s to Aphrodite and maybe reshifts of her kit, and then just more cool +1s from these characters. Because if you see like Cupid, Izanami, very basic characters. Cupid got like +5s, but Izanami's very good ideas of just +1s. Like, she feels so much more fun in Smite 2 than Smite 1. So I trust Hi-Rez. This ends up being just a video about me talking about what I want to see from Aphrodite, but there's a few things I want to see from Pele and Medusa too. But yeah, let me know down below, what do you guys want to see from Aphrodite, Pele, and Medusa? Thoughts, ideas, stuff you don't want to see, whatever it is. Comment it down below. I'm curious what you guys think, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys again next time. Peace.